One of the important feelings is this frisson, which is very often your hair standing on end, a shiver down your spine. And one of the devices which really works well for that is something called an enharmonic change.
Leads us to investigate. We don't know how this occurs. Does that mean there are more cells there? Does that mean that the cells are organized differently? Does that mean that the connections in between the cells are different somehow? In this book,
he came up with the idea that music is purely a technical invention. It's something that is a spin-off from language, something that's recent and of no deep significance to humankind. I think it's totally wrong.
Darwin asked in The Origin of the Species these very questions, and he had a plausible hypothesis. His idea was sexual selection. Music made the male of the species more attractive to the female. It showed that the male who had mastered music had a certain amount of cognitive and physical flexibility. But I'm leaning towards the idea that music may have helped to facilitate culture building. It is very much rule-based for how the different participants are going to come together in a lawful fashion. And that is really a foundation of society.
We were born to cry.
Maybe we're built to like music, so we associate something we need, say culture building, with reward.
How can we respond so emotionally and so intuitively to music if it isn't something that's really deeply embedded in our biology? How could that be? I don't understand how that can be. We really do need to go and look at the fossil record. What we can try to deduce is the evolution of the vocal tract, the evolution of the body, because the first musical instrument we had, probably the most important one we still have, is the human body. Probably able to make as wide a range of vocalizations as we could. Probably sounded a little bit differently, they had these great big noses, and it was probably a much more sort of nasal sound. But nevertheless, a fantastic array of sounds, just as we could today. Some were saying that it's just that they had language, and that's what that vocal tract had evolved for. But when you look at how they're behaving and the artifacts they're making, I don't think there's any signs of language there at all. And there is no evidence at all for them having to make any material symbols. So we don't have any paintings, we don't have any carvings, we don't have any figurative art. Now, if they weren't used
again, and then the brain changed again, and you're really not looking at them evolving independently, but co-evolving over tens of thousands of years in humans and other animals.
We'll never be able to... Well, it's real. I've been out there and visited the bird, and it does really dance to music, and it's not just imitating the movement of its owner. You can be still and not be giving it cues, and the bird will still dance. Can he dance to other songs? And he does. Can he adjust his tempo to the same song if you make it faster or slower, so it's a version he's never heard before?
What's notable about it is synchronized choruses would have never been seen outside of humans, as far as I think we're aware. For the species themselves, we don't really know how to describe